So Flanagan opens chapter 3 with the old, it wipes out wild fishery to feed farm fishery. And it takes more wild fish to feed a farmed fish. Well, that's not totally incorrect, but let's examine what we actually mean by feeding of farmed animals. So on the screen here, we've got the feed conversion ratio from a range of farmed animals, including a lot of farmed fish. Now, feed conversion ratio is the amount of feed it takes to produce 1 kilogram of weight gain. And so we can see for a chicken, it is about 2 kilograms of feed to produce 1 kilogram of chicken meat. For pigs, the average is 4 kilograms to produce 1 kilogram, although the range is greater. And for beef cattle, the average is 8 kilograms of feed to produce 1 kilogram of beef. However, if it is grass-fed, it's up to 10 kilograms, and if it is grain-fed, it's down to 6, so the average is 8. Well, let's look here at these fish, or these farmed fish here, from our prawns to carps, tilapia, rainbow trout, and down here to Atlantic salmon, where the feed conversion ratio, or the amount of feed it takes to produce 1 kilogram of salmon, is just over 1 kilogram of feed. So farmed fish are incredibly efficient at feeding. It's largely because as fish, they don't need the energy to hold themselves up like we need to keep ourselves standing, but also because the feed is delivered to them very efficiently. And finally, it means they don't have to hunt for their feed. And yes, Tassale's fact sheet here does say that they need 1.73 kilograms of forage fish to produce 1 kilogram of Tassale salmon. But imagine if that was a wild salmon. How much would it have to eat? Well, this research here shows that a wild salmon that has to chase its feed will have to eat approximately 10 kilograms of wild fish to produce 1 kilogram of salmon meat. So salmon are very efficient, and farm salmon are particularly efficient. So we've already seen with feed conversion ratio that a wild salmon will eat 10 kilograms of wild fish to put on 1 kilogram of growth. And we've compared the feed conversion ratios of a number of farm species as well. In this case, salmon, chicken and cattle. And here we have 10 grams of salmon feed, 20 grams of chicken feed, 100 grams of cattle feed. This 10 grams of salmon feed will produce 10 grams of salmon. This 20 grams of chicken feed will produce 10 grams of chicken. And this 100 grams of cattle feed will produce 10 grams of beef. So now that you've seen how much it takes to produce 10 grams of salmon, 10 grams of chicken and 10 grams of beef, let's return to the fact sheet which is cited by Richard Flanagan, where he says 1.73 kilograms of forage fish are required to produce 1 kilogram of Tassale salmon. But it's not quite as simple as that, because the key ingredient we need to feed that 1 kilogram of Tassale salmon is 86 grams of fish oil, which provides those omega-3s and a large amount of the energy. We only need 123 grams of fish meal out of those forage fish, which leaves 292 grams left over. So we only need 29% of the fish meal available from those forage fish, with 71% is available for the production of other seafood or other agricultural animals, which we might get to a bit later on. But a lot has changed in 2014 from when that document was produced, because it's now 2021. So if we look at the Huon Aquaculture Sustainability Dashboard with their feed, you'll see that they're using a large amount of fish meal that comes from fish trimmings, marine trimmings from other fisheries, which make up the feed, and 6%, 8% of the oil comes from the forage fish. So when you factor all these calculations in with the additional different sources of fish meal and fish oil, they only require 870 grams of forage fish to produce that 1 kilogram of salmon. Now, that's not saying we are producing protein from nothing, but the use of forage fish, the myth that kilos and kilos of forage fish are killed to produce 1 kilo of salmon and it's inefficient, well, that myth is just that, a myth.